Assalamualaikum, Dr. Zakir Naik, and greetings of peace. I'm Dr. Thiru J.R. Karasu. I'm a civil engineer, an author, an academician, and also a Christian preacher. I wear several hats, but of all the professions that I'm involved in, only two professions matter to me. The first is the profession of my citizenship, which is Malaysia. The second, the profession of my faith, which is Christian. Both these professions compel me to greet all guests with friendliness and respect. Sir, you are our special guest. You are a permanent resident in our country. And like yourself, I've traveled all around the world and I've lived in many countries. And I can attest that Malaysia is the best one of all. Of all the beautiful things about Malaysia, the most charming feature of our country is our unique community, which we call the Rakyat. And this is a word that you might want to get accustomed to. What is the Rakyat? The Rakyat refers to a kaleidoscope, a beautiful spectrum of different ethnic groups, comprising mainly the Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, the Eurasians, and a wide variety of indigenous tribes that together comprise our 31 million population. We are of different cultures and different faiths, yet we identify with one another as Malaysians first before anything else. Now, I understand that you started with Malaysians on the wrong foot. There was some controversy over a speech you made in Kelantan recently that thankfully has dissipated. Okay, you made some erroneous observations about a certain ethnic group that was duly corrected. No big deal. It was big of you to apologize, and we accept that apology and move on. We don't judge you. We don't care what happened in India and why you're wanted there. That is strictly something between our governments. We respect that. But there was also some controversy when you made some impolite references to other religions and their scriptures. Sir, if I may, I am among the thousands of people who think that your approach is counterproductive to our unique model as Malaysians in terms of peace and harmony. Sir, we respect the fact that you are an evangelist. You wish to propagate your religion to us in the name of peace, but your approach is what leads to misunderstandings and conflict. Sir, religious understanding is the key to religious harmony. You must understand people first before expecting them to understand you. And when you want to learn about a certain religion for the purposes of comparison, you must learn with the intention to gain insight, not the intention to find falsity. Sir, you have mentioned quite clearly that those who do not profess your religion must be guided to believe the same things you do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I have the same problem. I'm a Christian evangelist, and my Bible gives me the same mandate. Matthew chapter 28 says, and gives me the commission to go and make disciples of all nations. So we are pretty much in the same boat. We both belong to religions that puts us in the business of saving lives, or more correctly, to save souls, and to guide people to salvation. That's noble. Nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, we both have beliefs laid down in our scriptures as incontrovertible truths. And these are truths that cannot be altered, cannot be disregarded, and cannot be discarded, because by doing so, it creates serious consequences affecting the profession of our faith. Now, that's fine, but there's one small little problem with this logic, because it suggests that the beliefs of some are more important than the beliefs of others. Another way of saying is, my conviction is more important than your conviction about God. So who is right and who is wrong here? Nevertheless, I understand your dilemma, because the theological tenets that both you and I subscribe to are assigned in such a way that people who disprove, disbelieve, or dispute them are called infidels. And this is what makes our religions clash with each other. And it is sad, because both your religion and mine came from the same geographical territory. We have the same prophets, the same messengers, basically the same message of peace. And we also have virtually the same histories. Yet, the events of the past 10 centuries all point to the same conclusion. that it is very difficult to find peace between your religion and my religion as long as we do not adopt the principle of compromise. So what do we do about it? The solution is simple, sir. First, you need to focus on the substance, not the rhetoric. You need to obtain understanding of other religions and not denigrate those religions in an attempt to get people to believe in yours. Sir, every year I fly literally thousands of pilgrims to the holy cities of Jeddah and Medina to perform their Hajj obligations. Now, in flight, I get questions. Where is the direction of the holy city? What is the sunrise time and sunset time? People who want to perform their religious obligations and prayers ask me this question. Now, I can easily dismiss that. I can say, look, I'm not Muslim. I don't need to know those things. That's your business between you and God. But I don't. I accommodate them. I tell them precisely the sunrise and sunset times and also the direction of the holy city to enable them to perform their religious obligations. Now, this is what we call compromise and mutual respect. So, I'm asking, sir, please use this approach as you propagate your religion, not the confrontational, divisive approach that's counterproductive, because that only drives people away from your religion, not draw them to it. And this obviously is counterproductive to your objective as an evangelist, doesn't it? You see, you call yourself an expert in comparative religion, but your method is always the same. You expose some perceived deficiencies, inconsistencies, inadequacies, or irregularities in some other holy book, and then you make a superficial comparison with yours, and you say you're right and they are wrong. But that is not the way, sir. You see, when you compare two things, the comparison must be qualified. In other words, the knowledge of the thing that you are comparing must be equal to the alternative which you are proposing. I'll give you an example. Say, if I were the Indian Minister of Trade, I cannot say the Indian economy is better than the Chinese economy because China has violated intellectual property provisions in the treaty agreements. Because that's only looking at it from one variable and from a skewed perspective. Likewise, if I were the Chinese Minister of Trade, I cannot claim superiority over the Indian economy because India's GNP per capita is lower than mine. That's also picking a single variable and looking from a skewed angle. That's not how you compare things, sir. The only way to compare the two economies is to put both the Indian Minister and Chinese Minister of Trade on the same forum. Each is an expert in his respective field. They each propose a line of argumentation. They derive examples to back that argumentation, and they derive a conclusion. Not resort to generalizations, stereotypes, fallacies. That's not how you convince people, sir. The truth is, and I put it to you, you know very little about Hinduism and even less about Christianity. You have not read the Mahabharata, and you certainly have not read the Bible in its entirety. All you do is pick out individual verses that you have no understanding of, and then you pretend that they conflict with your version of truth. That's why people fight after your speeches, sir. Ask yourself, have people ever fought after a sermon by the late Reverend Billy Graham? No. Has there ever been a conflict after the Pope made a speech? No. Has there ever been quarrels after Mufti Menk of Zimbabwe spoke? No. The only person with the highest number of complaints and conflicts after he makes a speech is you. And that's saying something, Dr. Zakir. And now you have successfully divided Malaysians. Is that the kind of legacy you want? I don't think so. Respected sir, to promote understanding between our religions, I would like to invite you to debate with me personally, with conditions that will undoubtedly give you a significant advantage. First, the venue will be of your choice. It could be a closed lecture theatre in a university. Fine, moderated under the auspices of our beloved Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister, whom I believe is your personal friend. The language will be entirely in English. The duration of speech and time allocated for question and answer will be at your discretion. And here's the best part. You get to choose the title of our debate. How about that? Now, sir, for charity purposes, I propose a sum of 50,000 ringgit Malaysia, of which 20,000 will be from my own contribution. 10,000 could come from your organization, the Peace TV, and the remaining 20k we can raise from sponsorships, financial pledges, ticket sales, you name it. That's fine. Now, if I win, and most likely will not be the case, I pledge to donate the entire amount to a Muslim orphanage of your choice in Malaysia. But if you win, and most likely you will, then you're free to do whatever you want with the money. No questions asked, I promise. Sir, if you agree to accept my proposal, you know how to reach me. If you don't, then I bid you peace, and once again, extend a hand of friendship to you. For now, I leave you with a quote by Dr. Hans Kung. There will be no peace among the nations until there is peace among the religions. But there will be no peace among the religions until there is dialogue among the religions. God bless you, Dr. Zakir Naik. I bid you peace. Assalamu alaikum.